from Luxembourg.
Today we are going to Bastogne. We have taken the train from Luxembourg station to Ettelbruck, which is centrally north of Luxembourg. From there we'll take the bus to Bastogne. Bastogne is one of the famous sites for the Battle of Bulge, which is famous because of the 101st Airborne Infantry. And we are going to see the museums over there, probably the shelters, the bunkers where the battle was fought. And it was one of the most strategic sites in the battle because it was one of the places where the German army really came heavy on the American soldiers and the British soldiers. And it could have been a turning point in the war, but luckily it was the turning point in the defeat of the Axis forces. So we are going to go over there.
Okay, so if you have read the book, The Band of Brothers, or if you have watched the series, The Band of Brothers, you would know about Bastogne and also the 101 Airborne Infantry. So yes, and it was always in our bucket list, so today is the day we are going to go there. We have reached Bastogne.
So right when you get down from the bus, on the right hand side there was this shop called the Battle Shop. It had so many souvenirs from the Battle of the Bulge. It had t-shirts with the Battle of the Bulge logos. It's famous for the word nuts over here, said by General Patton during the Battle of the Bulge. So it had t-shirts, it had coffee mug, it had the GI style coffee mugs, it had beer bottles with the with the Battle of the Bulge theme. It was amazing. During the Battle of Bulge, the hospital or the medical station was right here. If you would have seen the Band of Brothers, you would have seen the hospital and the nurses and the soldiers being treated after the Battle of Bulge. It was right here. Unfortunately, there was a city walk in the place and there's no remains of the hospital because it was completely bombed out.
So now we are going to 101st Airborne Museum, which was their headquarters during the time of the war.
I was a paratrooper in H Company, 501 Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division. On December 16th, 1944, the Germans launched a very violent offensive in the West. My division had to go back to combat and defend a little town in the Ardenes called Bastogne. After several days of very rough fights, we thought there would be a truce for Christmas Eve, but heavy German bombers were on their way to Bastogne. Junkers 88s dropped one-ton bombs, causing a lot of casualties among our troops and among the population. Bastogne was badly damaged. I will never forget that sad Christmas.
So this place used to be the medical center or the hospital for the American troops, and now it's a Chinese workstation.
So now we are walking towards the War Museum, where we are going to purchase the tickets for the barracks, and then we walk towards the barracks, which is another 3 kilometers.
Okay, we are going towards the barracks, and from there we are going to go towards the bunkers. The bunkers were in the middle of Bastogne and the village of Foy. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah, it was out in the fields where the bigger chunk of the Battle of the Bulge happened. So yeah.
So we purchased the ticket from the War Museum, which includes the museum, the foxholes,
Which are
and
called Bojacs, and a 45 minutes movie.
okay, yes. So because we are more interested in the foxholes,
The actual site of the battle.
exactly, we are going to the foxholes first, and then depending on the time we'll see what other sites we are going to cover.
But for sure the actual site.
Yeah.
We're walking towards the foxholes, towards the village of Foy, where the Americans landed and they advanced towards Bastogne. And we are 1.3 kilometers away from one of the most dangerous and most difficult battle places during the Second World War. We never thought in our life we'll be here. If you want to really know about Bastogne, the easiest way is watch Band of Brothers, episode 6. That's the episode which is all about Bastogne. And if you see, it starts with 1 foot of snow on the ground in the forest, and these were the forests. These are the forests. But yeah, since the Americans landed in Foy, it's more towards that side. This, we are coming actually from the German side, who were headquartered and stationed in Bastogne.
The museum we saw earlier. That was
the German headquarters.
Yeah.
Crazy. Inside a real foxhole of the Second World War, inside the middle of the forest between Foy and Bastogne. It's crazy. It's amazing.
Sorry.
Behind us, some kids who are enacting the experience. So these were the foxholes where the soldiers used to be. That side is Foy, where the Americans landed and where they came from. This side is Bastogne, behind the forest. And yeah, I mean, this is where the battle happened. So basically they were over here. There were probably bigger trees over here giving them support, giving them cover. And the German artillery and the shelling was coming from that side. Yeah, bit of like that guy. He's got a good experience on the view of Foy.
So that's it. That was our trip to Bastogne. After a visit to the foxholes, we came back to the museum. Whatever time we had, we just spent in the museum.
In the shop. In the museum shop.
A little bit in the museum as well. So yeah, and then in the museum shop we bought some souvenirs. And now it's a time to go back to Luxembourg and see you next
Whenever
time.
you're in Luxembourg or anywhere in Belgium like Liège or somewhere, it's a very good idea to come down to Bastogne and see the foxholes. Really nice. It's a very spine-chilling experience, especially in the winter.
That's true. That's very true. But I think one day is not enough because there are a lot many museums and you need time to see the museums properly. So I think 2 days are good enough.
A day and a half.
Yeah. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and we will see you next time. Bye.
Good.